Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Batman, Whatever Happened to the Caped Crusader. Take a look at this cover right here. Now, up front, before we start this review, just so that there's no confusion whatsoever, the stories in this book, they never happened. Not one bit. Never happened. The characters in this book are not who they really are. Catwoman is not the real Catwoman. Joker is not the real Joker. Alfred is not the real Alfred. The only thing that's actually real in this book is Bruce Wayne. See, what's happening is Batman's having a near-death experience. And because of this, he's getting to see his life through the eyes of his enemies and his loved ones. This is a fantastic way of telling a story through a story. I think that they do it better here than they did in Grant Morrison's last Right story. But just so that you guys know, the only thing that's real is Batman and what he's thinking and what's happening with him. So if you're reading and you go, that never happened with Alfred, he's not, no. Or that story never happened, Batman didn't die that way, or anything like that. They're not real stories. This is just stories that are telling stories that are trying to get points across. So, with that said, let's get into it. What's happening is Batman's having his near-death experience, and everyone is gathering for his funeral. Again, this is all fake. It's all in his head. These people range from Joe Chill to Robin, Two-Face to Alfred, Catwoman to Superman. Everyone is invited, and everyone sits down to pay respects to the Caped Crusader. And all of them tell their individual stories. Now, there's two issues into the story arc. It's a fairly short story arc, even though there's 5 stories in this, which I'll get into later. The first issue deals with mainly Catwoman's and Alfred's story. The last issue deals with more or less Bruce Wayne's experience, and gives small mini-stories from every other person. So the big people in this is mainly Catwoman and Alfred. Now, the first story is the Catwoman story, and I absolutely love this story. Probably because, I like Catwoman and Batman's relationship so much, and I really want them to get together. And they have such a beautiful love story. They really do. And in this, you really get to see how much Catwoman loves Batman, and how much she sacrifices for Batman. Now, before I get any further, each story in this, every story, may have their own different meanings. But all of them are tied together by one big meaning, by one big thing that defies Batman, that defines him as a hero, that makes him who he is. There's one big meaning. There may be side things, like with the Catwoman story, there's love, or with the Alfred story, there's, protecting him and being a father figure or whatsoever, and keeping him happy. And, there may be those underlying meanings, but there is one big meaning in each story, which I will get to at the end of the review. Now, the Catwoman story really showcases how much she loves him and how much she's willing to give up for Batman. She starts as a criminal, and eventually she becomes a vigilante for him. She becomes a good guy. However, it's not working out, and then she eventually gives up her whole entire costume lifestyle and has a normal life for him. And it's still not enough for him. And one day he gets shot by a punk, and he goes to Selina Kyle, and he goes to her for medical help, and instead she ties him down and lets him die. And he says, I came to you because I trusted you. I thought you could help me. And Selina said, no, you came to me because you love me, and I'm letting you die because I love you. And that's just absolutely beautiful. A little weird, a little twisted, kind of macabre, but it's absolutely beautiful. It shows that she loves him so much that she doesn't want him to have this life anymore. She wants him to finally be at peace. She really does. And she gives up so much for him, and it's really quite beautiful. It really is. And I really like this story. It only solidifies that I believe that if Catwoman and Batman, given the right time, the right place, under the right circumstances, they would be together. I mean, in Hush, Batman had cold feet. Shit was going around in his life. In Heart of Hush, he was with Jezebel's debt. You really can't help that. But who knows? Maybe when he comes back to life, they can be together. But this was a great story. It was absolutely fantastic. Now, the Alfred story was still good, and I understood it. It really was Alfred going around as a performer and having all of his friends perform as villains. And they would go and entertain, well, not entertain, but they would commit crimes in order to keep Batman happy. It gets to the point where Batman finds out that, everyone, all his rogue galleries are a lie, and it's all Alfred doing it. And he gets a bat signal call to go deal with the Riddler, who is one of the actors. The problem is that the actor who is the Riddler got into his role too much, and he kills Batman. Again, each story Batman dies in. Each story, a different way, but he dies. Which is, again, it's a good story. I don't think it was good as the Catwoman story, but it was, somewhat sad. But I think it defines what Batman is a little bit more than the Catwoman story did. There were other stories, like the Superman story was great. The Superman story, although it was like 2 panels, he said to Batman, everyone in Gotham has made an alliance to kill you. And Batman says, as he smiles, good. The more time they spend trying to kill me is the less time that they spend trying to kill innocent people. Take me home. And he dies there. He dies in Gotham. Or the Harvey Bullock one, where Batman is saving a kid, and he holds on for dear life. He gives the kid to Harvey Bullock. He tells him to save the kid. And by doing so, he dies. Each story has Batman dying. But the underlying meaning of each story is that he never gives up. Batman never gives up. That is what Batman is. There is no retirement for Batman. No, he doesn't pass down the mantle to anyone else. The only way Bruce Wayne can ever stop being Batman is if he dies. This is a war that he is losing, but a war he can never stop fighting. And that is just a beautiful, beautiful understanding for Batman. The fact that he will never give this up. Never. He will just keep on fighting to his last breath. It's what he is. It's Batman's, I don't want to say obsession, but that's probably the best word to say it. It is his commitment. It is his duty. It's what he does. And that's the underlying meaning of this whole book. Is Batman never gives up. It takes death to stop Batman. Which is absolutely beautiful meaning. And I loved each and every single story in this. Of the first 2 issues. They were beautiful stories. They were very well thought out of. And you can tell the writer who was doing it had a lot of love for Batman as a character. Now, I suggest if you get this, to read the opening introduction, which is done by the author. And it is a beautiful introduction in itself. So the first 2 issues is absolutely amazing. I loved them. I really did. I thought the Catwoman story was the best. The Superman story really kind of captured me. Even though it was really short, it did capture me. So did the Harvey Bullock one. The Robin one was a little lackluster. The Ra's al Ghul one was good. The Joker one was funny. But it was good because it just shows that Joker hits him with a bunch... what happens is Joker kills Batman. And he injects him with so much Joker gas that it would, kill an elephant. And Batman's not dying. And he's not laughing. And Joker said, "Why aren't you laughing?" And Batman says, "Because it's not funny." And he eventually dies. And Joker says, "It really wasn't funny, was it?" That was great. Some of these stories are only 2 panels. Some of them are half of an issue. You have to understand that. It's kind of oddly balanced. You also find that Batman is talking to a woman the whole time. And I will spoil it. It is his mother. And I think that's a great foil for Batman. Because, no matter who you pick in Batman's life, his mother and his father are unique. Because they come from when Batman was not Batman. When he was pure. When he was happy. When he was a different person. So you take Batman as he is now, and you bounce him off a character like his mother. Whether or not it's really his mother, which we know it is, it's probably just a figment of his imagination. It still represents her, and still represents a part of Batman's life where things were good, where he was not Batman. I mean, you can take Alfred, Commissioner Gordon, Batgirl, anyone, and bounce it off Batman, and it's going to be different because they know him as Batman. His mother and his father will always know him as Bruce Wayne. So that was absolutely it was a fantastic choice. Now, the last 3 issues of this are actually miscellaneous issues that were done by the author, Neil Gaiman. And the issues are good. but they're not necessary to the story. That's actually a big problem with this story arc, and I'll get into that in a second. I actually only read 2 of the stories, and the only one I liked was the one where Batman and Joker sit down to have a cup of tea or a coffee or something like that and play crossword puzzles. But they really have nothing to do with the main story. They're not even canon in the Batman continuity. This is one of the problems with this book. Because this is a hardcover and they're asking $24.99 for it, you're essentially paying $24.99 for 2 issues, which together would be about maybe $8. That is too much. Now, for a Batman fan like me, a hardcore Batman fan, I'm going to buy it no matter what. I'm going to buy it the second it comes out. But I honestly think that for you guys, despite how good the first 2 issues are, despite how good the Whatever Happened to the Caped Crusader stories are, they're not necessary. Not necessary to the current stuff that's happening to Batman right now. They're fantastic, but they're not necessary. So, if you're going to buy this, if you really want to buy Whatever Happened to the Caped Crusader, wait till it comes out in paperback rather than hardcover. I mean, if you're a hardcore Batman fan, you probably already got it, read it twice. But, honestly, wait. Wait for paperback. It's a great story, but, you know, $24.99 for 2 issues. The other issues, okay, but they don't connect to the story at all. That's the problem with them. So, on the whole, these are fantastic issues. I love them. They were great. They really defined what Batman was. They really did. Very well. So with that said, I'm going to end the video here. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.